Hey everybody, Rachel Bogle here at the WMBF First Alert Desk. So we have a lot to get to here, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it, starting, of course, with some wildfire updates, starting close to home now. So we are getting an update now on the Carolina Forest wildfire, which is still just over 2,000 acres. Horry County Fire Rescue is offering this update on the conditions. They say that fire remains at 80% contained right now. We already heard from South Carolina's Forestry Commission saying that they weren't going to be providing more daily updates anymore, and their next update was going to be when we hit 100% containment. But again, we've just been sitting at 80 for quite a while now. So crews, really what they need at this point is just some help from Mother Nature before we can really hit that full containment level here. And that's because, as our Jamie Arnold explained earlier today, that some of these fires now, they're burning several feet underground in that peat layer of soil. So we just need some serious rain to really soak in there and get to those areas, but we just haven't had it so far. Until then, crews say those flare-ups are likely to continue for the time being, and of course the statewide burn ban is still in effect. Also, though, first responders from our area are lending a hand right now with the wildfires in the upstate. So members of Horry County Fire Rescue's wildfire team have been deployed to Pickens County here, where, I mean, just look at some of the video coming out of that area. Just incredible, just devastating to see. So they've been helping with the overnight operations on the Persimmon Ridge fire, which is now over 1,500 acres in size. They're really, again, trying to protect the fire line, keep properties safe from being harmed by the flames. Crews also with North Myrtle Beach Fire Rescue, Darlington County Fire District, and West Florence Fire Rescue are also providing assistance out there with both the Persimmon Ridge fire and the Table Rock fire, which has grown now to over 4,500 acres. So we certainly wish them all the best with getting those under control out there. So sending all of our well wishes. All right, taking a look here back close to home here. We have a couple stories here that are a little bit more lengthy. I will have to explain a bit more here because there's a lot to it, starting with this one. So we're now hearing from the attorney representing a woman who's filed a lawsuit against Horry County Police regarding what they claim was an abuse of power and an unlawful search during a traffic stop. So they also provided us with this dash cam video here from that traffic stop that you are going to see here kind of playing over and over. And I'm going to walk you through this, but just to note, this happened back in September. So in this video, it shows Lance Corporal Kessler, who is a member of HCPD's Street Crimes Unit, also is named in this lawsuit. It shows him leaving the M.L. Brown Public Safety Facility, then speeding toward Highway 378 to find what officers apparently believe is a Bentley. So audio was muted in that part of the video, so it's really unclear why they were looking for that car. But you see, I mean, he's kind of booking it out there. At some point, he sees the car, pulls around, pulls over Crystal Langston. During that traffic stop here, he asks her to get out of the vehicle, which he then searches. The lawsuit alleges she was stopped because of her high-value car. So Langston's attorney says, based on the officer's comments about her demeanor, they believe she was trafficking drugs. Obviously, I only have video here, none of that sound. You can hear this over on our website here. Our Stephen Schlink did this story for us, so you'll be able to, go back, and he kind of walks you through the details of this. But I'm just going to tell you what those officers can be heard saying and what is mentioned here in this lawsuit. So in the video, officers can be heard saying, quote, "I'm just getting like super old lady pillhead vibes," end quote, and saying, quote, "she would be the perfect courier." So basically they're saying that they believe she was trafficking drugs. So Langston's attorney says at first they didn't plan on filing a lawsuit, but when they requested body cam footage, the police department said they'd have to sue to obtain it. So they did. And that is how they ultimately ended up discovering these officers' comments on the video, which in turn has brought things to this point where we are right now. So Langston's attorney says he is still seeking more evidence here. We did, of course, reach out to Horry County Police for a statement, but a spokesperson told us the department doesn't comment on pending litigation. That is their policy, but we always have to do our due diligence to ask if they do have a comment here. So we will let you know if there are any new developments here with this lawsuit, with this situation. We'll be sure to bring you those updates on air and online. Meanwhile, also kind of sticking with Horry County Police, but a different situation here. We're also getting new details about what led to the recent resignation of Horry County Police's now former deputy chief. So you're looking at some of these documents here. So these are some of the documents we obtained from the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, and they reveal Brandon Strickland resigned March 11th after he was told he was under a, quote, internal affairs investigation regarding policy violations. So they also state SLED was contacted after his resignation since the agency was also investigating Strickland. Records show as of Tuesday, March 25th, he was under a pending criminal investigation, but not facing any pending charges. So SLED's investigation centers around allegations of misconduct by Strickland while he was investigating a deadly 2023 road rage shooting involving Scott Spivey, who died in that shooting, and a North Myrtle Beach business owner named Weldon Boyd. So in 911 calls that we had previous reporting on, where we really kind of walk you through the transcript there, in some of them, Boyd called the dispatcher there, claims Spivey had pointed a gun at him and a passenger and fired at him. Meanwhile, Boyd also saying that he fired on him first, so he was just, defending himself. Another caller also called into dispatch saying they saw Spivey drive at Boyd's truck, nearly running him off the road. So the state attorney general's office ultimately did not file charges against Boyd, citing lack of evidence. Meanwhile, though, back to this situation here. So the details of the misconduct allegations against Strickland haven't been specified at this point, but we do know Horry County Police made a request earlier this month to both SLED and the FBI to re-examine the case after, quote, continuing questions from the community. So there's a whole lot going on here with this one. We will keep you updated on any new details and developments in this story. It is something we are certainly closely following for you, since we are talking about an investigation here by SLED. All right, take a look at this. So we're moving out to Robeson County for this, and if this ain't brazen, I don't know what is. And this was all caught on camera. This is a break-in early this morning at a restaurant in Robeson County. So the owner of Malecios Taqueria in Shannon tells us this was actually the second time this week her restaurant has been broken into. And you can see there in the video, which we're going to kind of keep going over and over. It's looped around here. You can see the cleanup there. So in that video, though, you can initially see the suspect using a crowbar right here to break open that window before making their way inside, stepping onto that table, climbing over the booth, and then making their way toward what appears to be a cash register before quickly turning around and leaving. So the good news is the sheriff's office says they have arrested the person responsible. The bad news is, between this break-in and, as I said, this was the second time in a week, there was another one just this past Sunday. Between both of those, the owner says she's now dealing with over $20,000 in total losses. So you just hate to hear that. So our Ashley Listrom was on this story for us today, and she just said the best way that you can help, if you are able to help, is they actually have a couple different locations in Robeson County. I did a quick Google search before I came over here. It looks like she has at least one or two locations in Lumberton too. So that is an opportunity there where, if you are able, just being a patron and just showing your support, that will probably be just a helpful way. One of the only ways that we normal people can be a part of this, since we're not obviously law enforcement and they are still investigating the situation. But that is an option for you, again, to just try and help this business owner in the aftermath of this and the very expensive repairs that she's now had to face with her staff for, again, the second time in 1 week. So we certainly wish them all the best so they can get things back to normal as soon as possible. Certainly hate to see stories like that, but it is good to know that they were able to track that individual down and take them into custody. All right, let's go ahead and lighten things up. What do you say? As pet owners, a pet owner myself, pet lover myself, I certainly love this. So the Humane Society of North Myrtle Beach has a new tool in place. You can see it right here. And this is meant to help reunite lost pets with their owners. So they recently installed Horry County's first microchip lost pet scanner station. This is right outside the Murray Law Group on Sea Mountain Highway in Little River. So it looks pretty small, but this thing really can be quite powerful when it comes to reuniting folks with their lost pets. So the way it works is, as you can see here, there's that scanner and then there's that sign there with directions on it. So that sign provides step-by-step instructions on how to scan pets for microchips and for contacting their owners. So if a pet isn't microchipped, the station also offers guidance on next steps in those scenarios, providing essential resources, including contact info for local animal control agencies. So again, this lost pet scanner station up in Little River, so a little bit further up north there, is currently the first and only one in Horry County. But if you have a business or you know a business that might be interested in hosting one of these lost pet scanners, we have all the info on who you can contact to try and make that happen and get that going right now at the bottom of this web story over on WMBFnews.com. So if you are a business owner and you love pets and you want to be a part of trying to reunite other pets with their owners, this would be a really good opportunity to do so. So feel free to share that story as well with maybe a business owner you know that has a heart for pets or might just have a heart to help in this way. All right, let's talk about some food. What do you think? So after making a stop in the Grand Strand last weekend, the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network is headed to Darlington beginning this weekend. So what you're looking at right now, some of the footage from when they were here in Myrtle Beach again last weekend. So this weekend, they're going to be filming at the Public Square from March 30th to April 1st. So they're getting started Sunday, and this filming is going to go through Tuesday. So this show is hosted by Tyler Florence. It features 5 food trucks from all around the country competing for a shot at $50,000. And you folks at home, yes, you are welcome to come out, enjoy the festivities, watch the filming, just see how all the magic happens. There will also, yes, be opportunities for you to get to try some of that food. But again, there's a schedule, and it does specify when you're able to try out that food, when they won't be offering food. So if you are a foodie and you want to check that out, not just watch the filming and you want to just taste some of the goodies as well, you're definitely going to want to check out that schedule. We have the full schedule that kind of denotes when you'll be able to try the food, when they're just filming, what they're filming from day to day. That is all available right now on our website as well. But back here at home, I mean, there is all kinds of stuff happening. There's also filming happening right now for another national TV show right here in Myrtle Beach. So filming actually got underway Tuesday on 2 full-length episodes of the travel and lifestyle show called RV There Yet. It airs on Discovery Channel, and tonight looks like they're filming at Ocean Lakes Family Campground. We're told they'll also be doing filming at several other campgrounds, including Lakewood, Pirate Land, Willow Tree RV Resort, and that is just to name a few. There is a whole list, and again, we have all the filming info and locations on our website. But you might also want to know, when can you watch? So we're told the 2 full-length episodes that they are recording right now, those are going to air in May and June of this year, again on Discovery Channel. So getting a lot of love here in the Grand Strand and PD when it comes to shows wanting to come and film. Gotta love that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that forecast. We're going to crank up the heat tomorrow as we're moving toward the weekend. We're talking about highs even getting up near the 80s. How about that? So you can see this is a Grand Strand 10 days. So you can see they're mainly seeing like mid 70s, but for inland folks, you're really the ones that could be feeling just some low 80s there. So we will also be watching for our next storm chances moving in as we wrap up the weekend there. You can see really just kind of looking toward like Sunday into Monday there, where we are going to start seeing some of those shower chances. So best chances for rain coming Sunday, particularly for folks in our inland areas. Maybe some isolated downpours here and there near the beaches. But as you can see, there's only one day there that is shown in red. We're talking about Monday. That's when we're eyeing our next potential weather maker, when we could see a stronger thunderstorm or two. Right now, though, the Storm Prediction Center has our area under a level 2 low risk. But again, they're still kind of working on the timing when it comes to our First Alert meteorologists here. So you will want to make sure you have the First Alert weather app handy, downloaded, ready to go, just to make sure you're up to date as we move closer and closer to Monday. But hey, at least in the next couple days, you still have plenty of opportunities to get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather as we are now officially in the spring season, and it certainly does feel like it. But reminder that we are still very dry. Burn ban is still in effect. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we are working on for you new at 11. And unfortunately here, We have an update to a pretty sad story from earlier this week. New at 11, we do now know the name of the person killed in a motorcycle crash here in Myrtle Beach. So the Horry County Coroner's Office confirms Mohammed Al-Masayed died at the hospital yesterday morning, about an hour after a bystander reportedly found him at the scene of that crash right at the intersection of Highway 15 and Pine Island Road. So we're told the Myrtle Beach Police Department is now investigating this crash there. Don't have a lot of additional details about the situation, though. We will keep you posted if that changes. Meanwhile, also new at 11, another motorist's life was spared tonight, and that's really just thanks to the first responders from Horry County Fire Rescue. So we're told crews were called to Highway 22, right between Highways 90 and 905, around 7:15 tonight, and they were able to rescue a driver who'd crashed into floodwaters right off the highway there. So you're looking at some of that activity here, and it was, bringing out the big guns here just because of the setup of where this vehicle went off there, and trying to get this person out and now trying to remove that vehicle from the water. So troopers are now investigating exactly what led up to that crash. But again, fortunately, they were able to pull that driver from the water. As a heads up for drivers, at last check, at least about 30-45 minutes ago, at that point, at least Aner-bound traffic was still blocked, so towing crews could remove the vehicle from the water. Not clear yet if that is still the situation, but certainly something to be aware of. It does typically take some time to fish a vehicle out of any kind of body of water. You got to bring in some pretty big manpower in order to do that, and towing crews were hard at work doing that. So just giving a heads up if you are headed out soon, in case you do get just a little bit of traffic back up there in that area. All right, so that is a look at several of the stories we are watching for you today. It's not even all of it. So if you want to get even more updates, we're going to have all of that coming up for you in just under an hour, if you are able to stay up a little bit longer to join us for WMBF News at 11. But for now, that's going to do it for this update from the WMBF First Alert Desk. Have a good rest of your night. See you tomorrow.